What is going on, everybody? We are back on it. Berserk Manga Chapter 16 and Chapter 17. Everybody will see this on Monday. Hope you're enjoying the long weekend, staying safe out there. We left off last chapter with, or the last chapters, um, Guts and Casca fell off a massive cliff. They're separated from the rest of the army, from the rest of the camp, the troops, and they're just kind of holding out. Casca has fainted. She's having girl issues. Guts also ate an arrow to the side, so they're just kind of laying low until I guess Casca kind of comes to. They can armor back up and get out of there. Guts is doing the same thing for Casca that she did for him the very first time he came across the group. I kind of ship them a little bit because I think it was chapter, what was last chapter? 14? Was it 13 or 12? Casca touched Griffith Guts without Guts knowing. It wasn't like he saw it coming so he didn't freak out. She like started bandaging him up and he didn't freak out or spaz out. You know how he is with people touching him. So I think he's developing a soft spot for her. She's developing a soft spot for him. What it turns into, I have absolutely no idea. And then we saw the troops that Griffith is commanding. He's commanding other knights, leaders, generals, and they're kind of egging him on. They're not of the Hawks. They're from Midland. They already served the king before Griffith got there. And I feel like they're poking at him a little bit like, oh, you wouldn't just... Surely, two commanders of the Hawks can handle themselves. We can't sacrifice people to go get them, which is true, but, like, they're kind of nudging him to, like, see what he does, see if he'll, I guess, turn flustered or anything like that. But, like I said, I'm curious to see if the two of them develop a relationship, and if and when they do, what does Griffith think of that? Is he happy for them? Does it make him love them even more? Does he then become jealous? I don't know. We'll kind of see what happens. We'll go ahead and get it going. Let's get the music going over here. Turn this up a little bit. Lower it in my headset. And let's go ahead and do it. Whether you come along or not is your decision. You know how to fight. Oh, you guys can't see my cursor. There we go. You know how to fight already, don't you? Oh, is this young Casca? Are we getting a Casca flashback? So he came across her and just scooped her on up. Oh, she's awake. Nice. I wanted to see her waking up in his arms to see her reaction. I wonder if she knows, like, that he did, like, physically essentially keep her alive, you know? But he's already redressed, she's covered up. Yo. Where? A cave by the river. Luckily, falling into the river saved us. Everything's recording, right? Yeah. Alright. River. What the heck? You don't remember a thing? After I had it out with that whale jerk, you lost your footing and fell off the cliff. You're pretty easygoing considering we almost drowned. Stupid. Lie down for now. The fever ain't done dropping yet. Now, does she actually have a fever and stuff on top of her cycle? Or is it just... I don't know. I guess we'll kind of find out here. What could I do? You were soaking wet and freezing to death. Oh, about her being naked. Oh, she did... Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Is she thinking of hitting him, or did she actually hit him? Oh no, she did. Okay. What's that look for? Completely. Girl, I could have left you there to die, number one, drown, number two, freeze to death, number three. What are you doing that? What are you doing that? Hurt a ton. Here, I saved you, and now... We're getting, like, comedic relief of Guts here, you know? They're showing his face animated. It gives very, like, Gone Luffy vibes of, like, playfully animating him and stuff like that. Hey, cut that out. What's she laughing about? Why are we throwing blades? Let's relax. You finished now, you hysteric bitch? I ain't trying to lord this over you, but I'm the one who almost died dragging you out of the river with armor on. Instead of one word of thanks, you'll hurl a knife at me. If you weren't a woman, I'd knock your jaw right out of joint. Honestly, I said that last time. Let her keep messing around and find out. All right. I can't stomach it. A woman. Does she not want to hear this? Woman down talking again. I can't stomach it. A woman playing at being a knight. Women are inferior to men in strength. What use could they be in battle? Perhaps you even achieved your rank of commander by sneaking into the Griffith's bedroom. You're always so damn ready to be pissed about something. This is why women ain't cut. Oh God. Here we go. Ain't cut out to be warriors. I wasn't born a woman because I wanted to be. Oh no, she's really going through it. She's really going through it. Now she's crying. Hey, sorry, not that I really get it. Girl, I'm gonna choke her out in a minute. You really are some kind of bitch. Calm your ass down. Don't make me force you. She's struggling. She's gonna faint again here. Was he actually choking her out? Oh, he was. She had a tap there. I told you. Here, put this on. I was wearing it so it's dry already. I might have read that wrong. What, you still crying? Oh, shut up. Look away. Girl. Oh, man. Like he says, girls are so weird. I think he made a comment like that last chapter. It's pathetic. You're the only one. I didn't want to be saved. Now it's coming out. It's coming out. We know she's been jealous of Guts the minute he's joined. I don't know if Griffith and Casca ever had that kind of relationship that we've seen Guts and Griffith develop. So either she had that relationship and Guts took it, or Guts came in and got that relationship that she always wanted. Not sure. She really hates me. Shouldn't have saved her. So, speaking of which, why'd you join the Band of the Hawks? Like I said before, ain't it rough for a woman fighting for a living? If you don't want to say it, then whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's Griffith. We follow Griffith. That's what it is. Whether she saw him as some kind of like godlike figure, whether she fell in love with him immediately and felt like she had to follow him to maybe give herself a chance of being with him, it's essentially all it comes down to. My home village was poor and nestled in a mountain ravine. The land was barren and we couldn't really grow much besides oats. Even so, we were bled dry by taxes for the war effort. Having to go 3 days without any food was a common thing. People even starved to death in the winter. Because the village was near the border, it was often involved in skirmishes. Yeah, it kind of falls between. I'm getting like Hidden Rain, Nagato vibes. When that happened, all we could do was hide in the mountains and watch silently as our houses and fields were ravaged. It was just like with any other village. We were all used to being robbed and walked over. I too thought that was such a way of life, was just natural. This Griffith with the Harry Potter hat coming in? One day a nobleman who happened to pass through the village on a long ride caught sight of me. Oh, Lord. The nobleman approached my parents saying he wanted me for a castle maid. And it's a life, better than the life she's got going on right now, but it's still their daughter, and she's young. While my father was reluctant, he accepted the offer. There was no other practical answer. My family had 6 children, and strangely none of us had starved to death by then, so they're just kind of crossing their fingers. I think it was a natural choice for my father to lose his youngest daughter, who wasn't much use as a worker, and yet another mouth to feed. Yeah. She's never seen her parents since. Are they even alive? But en route to the castle, oh wow, he tried to rape her. He's like, oh, I'm looking for. He could, I mean, and it's fucked up to think about in this story and in just actual this time period in life. Like, shit happens today, but that could have happened all the time. A nobleman paying off a poor family or village, like, hey, can I get these girls as servants, or I need them, my daughters, or just whatever excuse you want to use. They're gonna sell their daughters off anyway. They're in poor, war-torn areas. Give them money. They're gonna take the money, and it's like they also might be thinking in the back of their head, this might be a better life for my daughter. He gets a mile down the road and starts to just immediately go after her. And it's like, I mean, they don't know any different, but Oh, she got out. But en route to the castle, this was his aim from the beginning. It was obvious when you think about— oh, I should have read down here. It's obvious when you think about it, it was his aim from the beginning. There's no nobleman whimsical enough to go out of his way to a slave, destitute girl he's never even seen before. Yeah, he just runs this on repeat. Got some money on him and probably just rides around doing this. I can't help it, it's natural. Those two ideas were always in my heart to help me stay connected to reality. But just then, oh wow, Griffith shows up, huh? I mean, how much more knight in shining armor can you get? I mean, that is her savior. I told you, it gives me very, very strong Orochimaru vibes. Not as fucked up, at least not yet. I don't know what becomes of the rest of the group when it's all said and done, but you know, these kids out here, and I want to know where Griffith originally came from and how we got to be here. But to her, like, this is, of course she's going to serve and follow. Does being born of the nobility mean that you're chosen by God? So strange. It was as if the image of some saint adorning the wall of my village church had just come to life. Wow, she is looking at him as like a godly figure. He was awe-inspiring, an otherworldly spectacle. I thought God had taken pity on the miserable, powerless girl and sent an angel. That's how it seemed for an instant to me at 12 years old. Yeah, 12. But what that angel extended to me wasn't a fairy tale like helping hand in my time of need. So we get the dude out of the way. If you have something to protect, take up that sword. Oh, so he doesn't save her necessarily, but gives her a chance. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what this 12-year-old's gonna do fighting off this grown-ass man. Clearly she gets him. She's alive right now. And then there it is again. You see, I think you guys can see my cursor. They like to do this, or he likes to do this. Giving humans the demonic looking face. And then when we see demons at like the brink of death, you humanize them with the human face. Very Hunter x Hunter, ants and humans type thing. I was afraid. I don't know whether I stabbed him or if he fell on the blade by himself. In any case, I killed someone for the first time. I was so afraid I couldn't speak or move from that spot. I was never going to let go of the sword with blood dripping from it. He just nodded deeply and slowly. But that was the real helping hand he extended to me. The fear didn't vanish completely, but the feelings of guilt and regret faded. His magnificence and the warmth of the blanket he gave me filled my heart. Griffith, we're finished over there. Oh, so the group is already established at this point. I thought maybe she would have been one of like the first. Are these people robbers? Oh, wait. What should I... Yeah, it's kind of like, what do I do? I mean, she's not too far from home, but... It's a 12-year-old girl out here with noblemen and other robbers and rapers, and is she gonna make it back home on foot? Do as you wish. Let me come with you. On impulse, those words sprang from my mouth. I kind of like her with the long hair. Hey, don't joke around, girlie. We ain't just some thieves. We're collecting war funds so we can eventually set up an army. Wow, Corcus and Judo and them are already in the group. How can we fight with a woman and kids along? I can't go back to my village. If I go back alone and unhurt, the official will never believe that you aided me. He's the same as the nobles. I don't know what I'd use as an excuse when they question me. Besides, it would be a burden on my family. Please, if you let me learn this, if you tell me to learn the sword, I will. Whoa, she's serious. You might die, you know. Didn't I tell you? Do as you wish. Whether you come along or not is your decision. Oh, it's so hard to tell because, yes, it is her decision, but the decision is already made, you know? So Griffith is made to look like this guy, but, like, you know how to fight already, don't you? But but you were the one who gave me the sword and the blanket. We'll skip right over to it, but it's so hard because what was Griffith's intentions there? Because we haven't seen Griffith building up the group. All that we've seen is the group already established. Like with Casca, they look at him as like this angel, this God-sent messenger that they just have faith. They don't know why they do, but they just do. He was there at a certain point for them. But like, what was his... I don't know what his motivation in helping Casca was. I'm sure that's not the only village that they've gone through to collect war funds that they've seen a girl or young boy like Guts getting taken advantage of. Does he always help them? Did he just decide I wanted to because he... I don't know. It's hard to tell what his angle is, especially knowing how he turns out. I think I've mentioned this before, it's very kind of like Darth Vader and how the Star Wars movies are set up. We got introduced to Griffith first at his already Darth Vader phase. Now we're flipping back prequel-wise, trying to see what was that switch. Destiny seems to be the switch. So then I'm curious, whose side is Destiny on, you know? If this is all predetermined, if this is all like bigger picture, pulling the strings, you know, Matrix and the Architect, MCU and Kang, whoever overlords and looks over time, Aaron triple 5D chessing everything, is Guts unknowingly striving to break that cycle of destiny? Can it even be broken? Is it fate that Guts is supposed to, you know, destroy the God Hand and whoever the god of demons is? Like, is that already written? And then if it's written, like, by who? Or does Guts somehow break the shackles of destiny? And if he does, then how? I don't know. You get in these like loop chicken before the egg discussions when you try to think everything like that. Everything changed that day. From a life I continually endure. Oh, everything changed that day. How I thought, how I lived, everything. From a life I continually endured to a life of fighting to succeed. It's good to see her get this out of here. Maybe she'll calm the hell down with her attitude towards us. The paltry dining table by the fire with my family around became a glorious battlefield, adjoined by death and blood. Dang, she looks so young right here. Since that day, the day I met Griffith, even now I feel it's been one long dream. Back then, I idolized Griffith. She says back then. So, does she no longer? Have the feelings begun to shift? Like he's not this god angel anymore? He was like some prophet or saint. That's what I feel like they look at him as. Be interesting to see when it finally hits the fan. In effect, that's what he was to us. We were a ragtag band of commoners with no backing, ever victorious on the battlefield, fighting like some miracle. Hey, y'all have destiny on your side. So maybe were they never that good? Was Griffith always supposed to win? Because that's when you start asking yourself, it's like, were there times there where he could have been defeated and could have been killed, but destiny intervened? Like when the assassin with the crossbow got that clean shot on his heart, but it happened to nick the behelit. It's like, damn, what can you do? Sometimes you just can't. There's no way to win. And most importantly, leading us was a young man who could still be called a boy in his innocence, when in reality he wasn't a noble or a knight even, but a commoner like the rest of us. A miracle. So I want to know who the first member was. I need to see Griffith from the very beginning. A miracle, yes, in my eyes, that's exactly what Griffith was. After a while, I somehow carved out a life as a soldier. At that time, the Hawks became involved in a certain feudal lord's dispute. Okay, a certain? What happens after this? He was said to be a man of fame, a wealthy man intimately involved in sovereign affairs, but the worst rumor about him didn't involve his assets, rather his sordid taste. I don't know what sordid means, but I guess that's supposed to mean like wretched or uh, unspeakable, something like that. Oh, that's what the rumors about him is famous for? Or he only likes, like, little girls? This isn't like some nightly thing, you know, back then you had grown-ass men, 30, 40, 50, 60, marrying, you know, 12, 13, 15-year-old girls and taking them as their queens and shit. These girls, they don't look 8, you know? They're not birthing children. They haven't had... that's rough. But back then, it's... I don't know. That's a murky line. As attendants, he would employ children from neighboring villages, nearly all boys. Oh, and they were boys. Nearly all boys who met his taste. Okay, so now there's no excuse. I was going to sit there and say, well, maybe, you know, back then, even 8, 9, 10-year-old girls were getting wet off, but it's boys, so it's... In truth, they were imprisoned with his castle as pleasure slaves, yeah. They would be at his side, and he just keeps them out there like that? For what? Just to show off? They would be at his side, children with the eyes vacant of all but fear. I guess these days that's not such a strange sight, but to be honest, it sent a chill down my spine. A heart-rending sense of fear and yeah, because, I mean, she probably knows what they were going through because she had it happen to her. All my guts had the same happen to him. I'd almost become like that once, yeah. But just like that time, by putting his hand on my shoulder, just from that, I mysteriously stopped trembling. Afterwards, following several skirmishes... Oh, wow. Did he send the boys out on the battlefield? Or this is just another boy. He was a boy who had joined the Band of the Hawk half a year before then to train to become a soldier. Ah, he didn't make it. He's about 10 years old, and I don't know his name. He didn't really stand out enough to be noticed. There was no one to recognize the remains of this nameless soldier in training. Yeah, I mean, you guys are a bunch of, like you said, ragtag commoners that don't come from anything. You're just collected. That is no one but Griffith. Griffith, what's that? This boy's belongings. He's got a toy soldier. It was a toy knight, scuffed, dirty, and missing a leg. Griffith, the toy on the battlefield. And he's still just, I mean, a kid. They're all kids at this point. If she's 12, Griffith can't be any older than 15. He must have greatly admired knights. I remember him well. He'd gaze at me as if I were the hero of some story. That's how they're all looking at you. And he died on the battlefield like that. No one knows his name. His family will never know. And that's his life. I wonder if he was happy, dreaming. Did he die enchanted by his dream, or was death the end of the dream? Question. Maybe my dream is what killed this boy. Could have been. That's what I'm saying. It's like he's just leading these people to slaughter because he's got to get to his destiny point. Who cares what happens to the 10-year-old boy and what happens to Casca and Judo and Rickard and... I couldn't find the words to speak. I'd never seen Griffith like that before. Never so somber. But ever since then, I've started viewing Griffith differently. Then one evening upon returning to the castle, did she walk in and he killed this old man? Killed the kids? Or what? Griffith. Was he laying? I hope you guys know what I mean by laying. With that old ass man that has a closet full of kids younger than 10? I mean, he's over here shirtless. I mean, I'm gonna wait to see what to make of it here because it looks like we're only halfway through this chapter, or a little bit past halfway, maybe like 60%. Is there a purpose to this? Does Griffith just doing this because he wants to? Is he doing it to elevate his status? You know, he wants to own a kingdom and what? Okay, let's see how this goes. I mean, he's shirtless with this dude walking up behind him. Huh. She says, then one evening upon returning to the castle... Is he just trying to get close to him to kill him in his sleep? Or, like, what's the deal? Hey, you're kidding, right? You mean Mr. Ball of Pride? Come dawn that morning, I couldn't sleep, and I was wandering along the river near the castle. God. And he's hitting Casca with the same shit he hit Guts with when he was showering in the damn fountain sprinklers and shit. Why not come join me? It feels nice. This is how he gets them all? Am I dirty? No. I mean, it's a 12-year-old. God. And you know she's already had a unfortunate experience, so this is probably not. Yeah, why? Why were you alone with him before? I need this answer, like, actually answer. You're right, my mistake, huh? That last night, a war council or something? So, no, you're not mistaken. And if Griffith likes men, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, it's just... I don't know this man. So I don't know if he's doing things because he wants to lay with that man? Is he doing it to kill that man to free those boys? Is he doing it to elevate his status? I don't know. No, you're not mistaken. Why would you... And she probably despises that man because of what he does to those boys, knowing what was done to her. Why would you with someone like him? I need to hear this answer. Luckily, it looks like we have multiple pages, so it's not just going to cut off. Money? You gotta support the band of the Hawks, right? Huh? An army consumes so much money just being men, horses, equipment, provisions. None of it is free, and the band of the Hawk will grow larger and larger. It has to. So for that, too, we need a vast amount of war funds. In any case, I seem to appeal to that old man, and I was interested in his fortune. Our interest coincided. Yeah, but still, aren't we doing well enough now? At this rate, if we just keep winning, we'll eventually raise enough. It would take too long. Besides, with every battle fought, I lose more troops. Griffith, is this because of that boy? No, I thought about it logically. To go to battle 10 times and lose hundreds of soldiers, or to seduce one old man. I mean, I get it. Still eyebrow raising and head scratching just because I really don't know what he truly thinks or wants because we haven't peeled back that layer yet, but... Oh. Casca, listen, I don't feel at all responsible for my comrades who've lost their lives under my command. Don't? I guess it's because they themselves chose to fight. That's just the way I am, as he's like ripping his skin off as he's bathing and shit. But if for their sakes, for the sake of the dead, if there's something I can do, with blood, that thing is to win. Okay, you gotta relax, buddy. I'll keep wanting to fulfill my dream to which they clung, putting their lives on the line. Bro, you gotta really... Okay. Now here's the thing. I don't know if he's doing this because the trauma of having to lay and seduce that old man, or is he doing this because this is like the inner him that we're seeing, like, I'll do whatever it takes, putting their lives on the line, clinging to my dream. And do you know what it would take mentally to like actually do that to yourself without your body subconsciously stopping yourself? Like, you could sit there and scratch yourself, but subconsciously you're going to stop if you're mentally sane. To dig that deep and draw that much and continuously keep going, something is... We already know something is, but my dream can only be realized by building upon their corpses. It's a blood-smeared dream after all. Stop, I have neither regret nor remorse about that, but for hundreds, thousands of lives to hang in the balance and myself alone not to be unclean, what I want won't enter my grasp so easily as that. Yeah, bro, you gotta relax for a second. Stop, just stop. It's nothing. Watch some wild shit, he just like heals up like Wolverine. It's like, whoa, buddy, that's not normal. The Griffith who turned around to put his hands on my shoulder is the same Griffith as ever once more. Just then, that filled me with sadness. Griffith persists in trying to realize a kind of dream that most people abandoned long ago as childish yearning. But the dream he's chasing is so genuine and extraordinary that the burden must be immeasurable. A strong person, it's simple just to sum it up with those words, but I think that someone, she's really thought about this, but I think that someone who wants to accomplish something grand endures that much more than other people. It's not that he is strong, Griffith has to make himself strong. I want to be by his side. If he's going to sacrifice everything for his dream, if his dream is to fight and cut away his own path, then I want to be his sword. Yeah, okay, well, I thought that she had maybe, that's the end of the chapter, by the way, I thought she had maybe began to waver in her feelings for him, as it seems she might have a slight care for Guts, in seeing Griffith like court other women, or that princess. She might realize that maybe she doesn't need him to accomplish whatever her dream is, but I mean, this is essentially what her dream is here. If he's going to sacrifice everything for his dream, if she wants to be the sword that cuts away to be his dream, it gives you very strong, like, Kimimaru, Jugo vibes. Like, whatever Sasuke or Lord Orochimaru wants is what I want. And it usually ends up being like some sad death about it. I mean, if you've watched Naruto or read it, you know how like Kimimaru goes out fully just committed to that man Orochimaru, and when Kimimaru finally dies or starts to become sick, that Orochimaru has already moved on to the next. I'm so curious to see if there's anything, and she smirks about that too, I want to be his sword, if there's anything that he could do, anything that Griffith could do that would shake her, that would shake this thought process. Like, this is her dream. Is there anything he could do? I don't know, I'm trying to think of, she's been with him so much longer than Guts has. I'm trying to figure out what she's already seen. If he killed innocent people, would that make her falter? I don't know. If he purposely killed his own people, would that? I'm sure he's led troops in that died and, you know, ordered some knowing they were going to die, and she probably knew that too, but if he himself was to stab a Judo or a Corcus or really kill them, would that falter her? She's still headstrong. If you see him assassinate a princess or something like that, are you still ride or die? Is there anything that could shake that motivation for her? And I'm curious what Guts thinks of all this. We didn't get anything out of Guts this chapter when she started going off, other than him saying, no way, like Griffith laid with that old man. But I feel like this here, this is deeper than, oh, I've got to raise money and whatever my dream is, I got to keep it going, haha. There's something going on there, and I'm curious how it goes. Like, I keep thinking of, because we know it's coming, I just don't know when it's coming. Is it coming in chapter 20? Is it coming in chapter 200? Like, when we actually flip? You guys don't have to tell me, because I want to be surprised when it happens. I'm curious, like, because surely Guts, like, defeats the God Hand at some point, right? Griffith included. Like, he finally does beat him, because he's never beaten him. He finally beats him, right? Do you think when we get caught up to Griffith, like current Griffith, and actually defeat and kill him, whatever might happen with it, or when he finally is dead, however he dies, you think he regrets anything? Or the way he did it, or the way he went for his dream? The thing is it even his dream? Like, again, if he's destined to become a God Hand, so everything might already be predetermined for him to get, like, the path has already been laid, he just has to walk down it. Whoever it is, if it's the god demon himself, or something above that, or outside of that, fate, whatever, because he's been chosen. And when we talk about destiny, like, everything has been laid, like, the road signs have already been put out. Fate is telling Griffith to, like, go left, go right, do this, do that, and he thinks it's him. And then you start asking yourself the question, which has really been the biggest question that I've had in the last handful of chapters, is like, does free will in this story exist? If no, currently, will it by the end of the story? That's pretty much the biggest question. We can sit here and talk about Griffith's mindset and guts and what happens and demons and all this. I think the overarching question for me is like, is there free will? And if not, does anybody get it by the time the end of this story is over? So we'll see. Appreciate it, everybody. This is going to go up on Monday. We'll be back with chapter 18 and 19 on Friday. We should have One Piece up tomorrow again. Enjoy your long holiday weekend. Stay safe out there. Appreciate all the support and everything on the Berserk videos. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always,